Hey there, health freaks! It seems as if diabetes is becoming more serious by the day. The number of people with diabetes rose from 108 million in 1980 to 422 million in 2014. If you're a person suffering from diabetes, whether it be type 1 or type 2, you're always watching your diet. Let's talk about 8 foods and drinks to avoid if you have diabetes. Should I stop eating dried fruits? How about pasta? Can I no longer eat pizza? Wait, not even bread? We're talking all that and more. Number 1, white bread. Yep, if you're fixing yourself a sandwich, white bread is not the kind to use. When you have diabetes, your bread intake is one of the easiest things to lose track of. White bread is really high in carbs. A single slice has just around 13 grams. That's 5% of your daily value of carbohydrates. Just to make it clear, carbs should make up no more than 65% of your daily calories. If you're eating on average 2,000 calories a day, you shouldn't go over 325 grams of carbs. Now, you may be asking yourself, who's actually calculating the amount of carbs they're having in a day? Well, if you suffer from diabetes, this is important. Not going over the recommended limit is crucial for diabetics to maintain their health. High-carb, starchy foods like bread and bagels are shown to significantly increase your blood sugar levels if you suffer from diabetes. Not only that, but research also suggests decreased brain function in people with type 2 diabetes. Number 2, cereal. All you breakfast enthusiasts need to take note. Certain cereals are terrible if you have diabetes. It's easy to think that cereal's a great health choice, but just think about all that sugar you're consuming. Even some of your favorites are terrible for you. I hate to break your heart, but Fruit Loops are loaded. A bowl holds 26 grams of carbs with 12 grams of sugar. Think that's bad? 1 cup of Captain Crunch contains 32 grams of carbs. In that are 16 grams of sugar. One of the problems is there's very little protein in cereal to make up for the high sugar count. Because cereal is so tempting, you often eat more than one bowl. The protein is meant to satisfy your hunger and keep you feeling full for a longer period. But since there isn't much, you keep on eating cereal. If you suffer from diabetes, the best option is to skip cereal and eat low-carb meals. Mornings will just never be the same. Number 3, pasta. Much like white bread, pasta's high-carb content can't be ignored. Foods made from refined flour should generally be avoided if you have problems with blood sugar. Take everybody's favorite pasta staple, spaghetti. A single serving of spaghetti and meat sauce has over 40 grams of carbs. In that, there are just 5 grams of fiber and almost 8 grams of sugar. But it's not just the regular kind that's bad. A study from 2014 showed that eating gluten-free pasta could also raise your blood sugar levels. If you're at risk for diabetes, the smartest thing to do would be to avoid pasta entirely. I know it's difficult, but this is reality. Number 4, dried fruits. I mean, sure, dried fruits have plenty of health benefits. You can get tons of important nutrients just by snacking on a few during the day. These include vitamin C and potassium. But let's face it, there's too much sugar. Your go-to dried fruits all have too many carbs and way too little fiber. Take raisins, for example. A single cup holds 115 grams of carbs with just a few grams of fiber. Diabetics need to stick to low-sugar fruits like watermelon, avocado, lemons, and raspberries. Number 5, French fries. Now, this one should be obvious. French fries can serve as a weapon against your diabetes. Potatoes are high in carbs. Just a medium-sized one has almost 35 grams with very little fiber. As you can imagine, eating French fries can cause your blood sugar to skyrocket. A medium serving at McDonald's is 43 grams of carbs. That's 16% of your daily value. Now just think about all the times you've craved McDonald's fries and instead opted for a large serving. Not to mention adding sugary ketchup makes it even worse. Aside from increasing your blood sugar, they also produce toxic compounds that get into your system. From here, they cause inflammation and increase your risk of other diseases. On top of diabetes, studies have linked fries to things like heart disease and even cancer. Number 6, pizza. I know I've gone a little bit too far with this one. It's time to face the truth. Aside from having a ton of calories and sodium, pizza is loaded with carbs. Some slices are so thick, it feels like you're eating a cheesy loaf of bread. Pizza is a lot like beer. Once you have one, it's hard to stop. Before you know it, you've had 6 or 7 slices and close to your daily value of carbs. The average slice of pizza holds 26 grams of carbohydrates. The biggest problem is that while it's delicious, it won't fill you up right away. This is because the same slice usually has under 2 grams of fiber. This is why you have one slice after another. Not only will you gain weight, but your blood sugar will also suffer. It's important to be cautious with pizza when you have health problems. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you suffer from type 2 diabetes, you don't have to avoid pizza altogether. You just have to go for thin crust slices and make sure to limit your intake. Another good thing you can do is add more veggies to your pizza. This means holding the extra cheese and meat toppings. Number 7. Fruit juice. Now, juice isn't for everyone. I personally grew out of it in my adult years. If you suffer from diabetes, this isn't really one that you need to worry about. You likely avoid juice to begin with. But many can't go a day without a cup of their favorite juice. Believe it or not, some of the tastiest brands are just as sugary as Coca-Cola. Think about this. 8 ounces of soda and apple juice have just about the same amount of sugar. This is just under 25 grams. A fresh cup of apple juice has about 30 grams of carbs. Now, don't get me wrong, apple juice has a ton of great vitamin C, but for unhealthy people who are at risk for diabetes, it can send your blood sugar through the roof. Unfortunately, orange juice is similar. A cup of that can be 26 grams of carbs with 20 grams of sugar. With fruit juice, one thing you need to focus on is fructose. This is a specific type of sugar found in fruit. Not only can fructose increase insulin resistance, it also ups your chances of becoming obese and getting heart disease. If you're craving something refreshing, water really is your best option. If you want to spice things up, add a touch of lemon. Number 8. Pretzel. Oh yeah, I went there. One of your favorite sports snacks is terrible for diabetics. A serving of 20 mini pretzels holds 25 grams of carbs. That's almost 10% of your suggested intake for the day. There's also reason to believe they contain more carbs than shown on the nutrition label. This is where it gets tricky. Pretzels are super addictive. You can finish an entire bag before the 4th quarter of the football game. Snack foods in general are terrible, but the mix of calories, sodium, and carbs in pretzels is dangerous for unhealthy people. If you're watching the big game, it's best to choose finger foods that are healthier, with less salt and carbs. Try things like carrots and celery. Just 10 baby carrots contain 3% of your daily sodium, as well as 3% of your daily carbs. Celery sticks are similar in quantity. You can also try things like unsalted nuts. I mean, sure, you won't get any sodium, but think about all the carbs you'll miss out on as well. There are plenty of other great snacks that aren't going to spike your blood pressure. Anything to make the big game more enjoyable without the health risks. Do you suffer from or know somebody with diabetes? Would you consider cutting any of these foods? Let us know in the comments below.